Alright guys, Scrappy again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. One of the big debates going into next season is who is going to be the #1 team of the game. There are quite clearly 3 teams that should be competing it out for the World Championship victory at the end of the season and every single major tournament victory throughout the regular year. That's OpTic Texas, that's Atlanta FaZe, and that's the Los Angeles Thieves. Going into last year, we had the New York subliners in that conversation as well, with Toronto Ultra, and Thieves weren't even there given the budget org that they were last year. Certainly different a few months later going into 2025 CDL season. But last year, there was a theory that, okay, maybe OpTic will be strongest, maybe FaZe will be strongest. This time, it's rather difficult to say, but Shotzzy certainly believes that Pred's mentality and exactly what he was able to do at the end of the season gives them a rather sizable advantage, potentially when compared to their opposition. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. First of all, thought this is kind of cool here from Kremp. We saw this confirmed the other day, but he is officially the Porsche Sprint Challenge GT4 Pro-Am champion here for 2024. So, look, he entered this racing series with the intention to win. This is what he does. He won, and I think he won like 6 races as well during the course of the season. Wins the championship. Thought this is kind of cool as well. Just looking at the behind the scenes really of the awards show that they did, and here's Kremp receiving the championship victory. So with all the crowd watching, I thought it was just absolutely really cool to see. Now, will Kremp be racing in this series again next year? Probably unlikely. I think he's going to go on to do something else. I don't know what that's going to be. Of course, he's with the Rafa Racing Club. I mean, look how cool this is, right? Got Kremp in the background, Porsche Sprint champion, and receiving the awards. It's just great to see what he's been able to. I think what's most impressive for Kremp is that, like, it's not like he was karting when he was a kid, like most racing drivers, especially at the top level, like they've always been racing drivers since they were like 4 or 5 years old. And Kremp's always loved driving, sure, and probably he did about better than that when he was younger. I don't really know his story, but he only took it super seriously after he retired from COD. Like, he did drive a bit before then, he had his sim rig, but after he retired, he got the sim rig properly set up, grinded the racing games and everything, and has now been grinding in real life. So it is just super impressive what Kremp's achieved in the time frame that he's achieved it. But I don't think it should be a massive surprise. And of course, I think Sib is kind of getting onto something here, which is a bit of a Kremp 6 mentality in some ways, because as he says, nothing about competing at the highest level is meant to be fun. But as Octane says, like, okay, well, the raising trophies is fun. I think this is probably the way that Kremp sees things as well, is that, look, we're getting on, I'm grinding every day, I'm playing iRacing 12 hours a day or whatever to prepare for my actual race this upcoming weekend. And sure, that process might not be fun, it's a grind, but the winning is fun, right? That's what Octane says. And Parasite, I thought his pretty funny take here, because obviously it's been sarcastic, having a laugh and vibing with the bros while getting trashed on. And there's an argument, and Shotzzy was talking about this the other day, given the salaries in the league are going down, there's salary cuts from the top players, there are potentially salary cuts for the middle of the pack and lower of the pack players as well, because we know that the minimum salary is disappearing in the CDL. It's now going to go down to the minimum wage in that particular state, and what that means for what the players are going to get paid, I don't know, but probably less than last year in the majority of cases. Shotzy's point was, well, maybe these teams will try harder to win now, because if you're getting paid a decent salary, 100k a year, whether you place 8th in an event or 12th or 6th or whatever, might not make that much difference in the grand scheme of things. You might prefer just to chill, have a good time, and vibe with the boys, as it were, while you're playing scrims, even if you're getting slammed when you go to the events. But if you're not making as much money, all of a sudden the winning matters more. People are going to take it more serious. The teams are going to be more competitive. That's an argument that might be fair enough. But let's get into some of these top rosters, right? Because as I said, last year, OpTic, FaZe, Toronto, New York, those were the top 4. We didn't really know who was going to be the best last season. Obviously, OpTic had upgraded, FaZe had theoretically upgraded. New York, we weren't really sure because they'd got rid of Priestahh. They just won the World Championship. It was very questionable. Toronto had upgraded on paper as well with the change that they made bringing Envoy in. So it was tough to say last year who was going to be the best. It was obviously, at the end of the day, all of those 4 teams won 1 event each. But at the big events, OpTic won the World Championship and FaZe won the World Cup, which probably going into the year would have been the expectation that maybe those 2 teams were going to be the stronger of the 4. This year, it's really difficult to say whether OpTic, FaZe or Thieves is kind of the new top 3, who's going to be the stronger of the 3. And to be honest, a lot of it might come down to not talent really, because the talent across those teams is undeniable. And, if you look at those rosters, you see FaZe with Simp, aBeZy, Cell and Drazah. if you, from a pure talent perspective, is that quite equivalent to Pred, Shotzzy, Dashy and Kenny? It probably is on some level. Like I'd say from a pure talent ceiling perspective, those two teams are pretty similar. You then look at Thieves, and I see Scrap and HyDra potentially as the most talented players out of all of those guys that we've just mentioned. But they're paired with Ghosty and Envoy, who are still phenomenal Call of Duty players. But of the 12 players that I've just mentioned, Ghosty and Envoy are probably two of the weaker, if not the weakest. They're not weak players, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's not a criticism to say that you're the 10th or 11th best Call of Duty player in the world, but that probably applies to a guy like Envoy. So the question in terms of the talent ceiling is difficult to answer because, you know, is Scrap, HyDra, Ghosty and Envoy, is that a more talented team than Simp, aBeZy, Cell, Drazah? I mean, I think it's pretty close. I think it's pretty close to Pred, Shotzzy, Dashy, Kenny as well. Like, it's all very competitive. So I think the difference is going to be how they work together and also just how they execute, how they practice, right? How committed they are. Like, how much do they want to win? Like, genuinely, these type of questions. So, and clearly Thieves, they want to win a lot because Nadeshot needs his money back, effectively, right? Nadeshot's put a lot of commitment into making this happen. I did want to share a clip here, a couple of clips. I thought this one was pretty funny as well, with HyDra giving him some gas, but also Nadeshot says, look, I've got to run these ads on Twitch because I got to pay your guys' salary, right? Gataga came in, tried to sign you, so I had to match the contract offer, and now all of a sudden we're struggling to make it work. So, you know, this is the point that Nadeshot's making, is like, you guys got to win. And I think Nadeshot's, after they won that K-Sun 10K 2v2 tournament, Nadeshot's like, that's one. Like, we've got to get at least some victories on the board this year because he needs these guys to deliver. As to FaZe, as to OpTic, obviously, but with the commitment that Thieves have made to making this team happen, they have to deliver. The Thieves guys know they have to deliver. And to be honest, they have the coaching staff and the arrangement around them to make it work. I mean, Cinder coming in, Shane's still there. Like, they should be incredibly competitive. Do they have, however, everything put together? Because we know that OpTic know that, yes, they have their weaknesses, but they also have some serious strengths. And that is a question that we don't know the answer to yet with Los Angeles Thieves.
Tell him about the 2.0 KD at the event.
Wait, Baco, you want me to tell him about X Games versus...
Yeah, they tell him about the 2.14 KD while you were lurking and shit.
Yo, no. There ain't... Hey, listen, bro. There ain't no lurking on Octane Search and Destroy, bro. You can see cross from every square inch of that map. I'm facing Primetime Karma, Aches, TP, Crim6.
There we go.
And I'm making them look like children on the map in S&D, bro.
That's just the beginning, though. That's just the beginning of the story.
Bro, I'm shooting gate on Freight S&D, and I'm running across the entire map through my spawn to go back through red. These motherfuckers were shook.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, the gated tunnel?
Yeah, so don't teach him how to lurk, bro. The 2.14 KD.
Paco, did you play CS or something?
Yeah.
Like as you were, like when you were a kid?
Yeah, when I was 14.
Oh, shit. Okay. I was wondering. I'm like, there's no way you just started playing Val and you're this good.
But why?
Well, I don't know. I didn't start playing keyboard mouse until I was in like my mid-20s. So if you would have like picked up Valorant and been as good as you are, I probably would have just quit.
Well, I mean, you can still quit.
Well, then how are we going to pay your fucking salary?
No, never mind.
You need me here, bro. I got 5,000 viewers. You know how many ads I'm running right now just to afford this shit?
22, the max?
Nah, 22 is insane.
Yeah. You know what's funny as fuck, dude? Oh my god. He was getting cooked for this shit. And I'm pretty sure we had a bad event. It actually might have been that one event that we placed 12th, the LA event. Pretty sure that was Major 4. It was Karachi. I don't know if it was hardpoint or control. It was probably, I think it was HP, because I'm pretty sure it was a P2 row. And we basically had full control or whatever, and we all died. And he's in the fucking bus. He's in the bus laying down, dude. Yo, chat, you have to link me that clip, dude. Yo, shout out fucking AG, bro. I'm not gonna lie. There's very few players, and I feel like I'm one of them. Because I remember that whole major, he was getting fucking a lot of hate. And everyone was fucking on his ass. Imagine you legit have your worst performance going into the biggest event. Like, I feel like not a lot of people would still go into the mindset, like, as confident. You know what I'm saying? And that's why AG needs to be tipped for that. Because he had a fucking insane event. That's why me and him get along a lot, low key. We see shit the same, bro. No matter how bad we get shit on, we're so fucking delusional, dude. For example, when we get, dude... It happened so many times, bro. The amount of times, chat, that me and him literally got shit on in crouching control on land, bro.
It's very interesting to hear what Shotzzy had to say on Pred, because it's his SMG duo. They're not breaking up anytime soon. Talking about his mentality going into especially the World Championship during the most recent year when they eventually went on to win. Because Pred had a bit of a roller coaster year in many respects. Started off very well, then still played okay, but his playstyle was getting called into question given that OpTic weren't winning, even by his own coach, let's not forget, where Karma was kind of, calling out, it seemed to be at least Pred specifically, kind of saying, look, why is he laid out all the time, right, this playstyle isn't going to work and all this. So, yeah, it's a strange one, like, that has happened, to be honest, even looking back at it. And there were questions on whether, like, if the team had to make a change, who would it be, what needs to happen, but obviously they knew, and we all knew, how talented Pred is and what his potential was. And then, after winning Major 3, they then had a complete shambles going into Major 4, like an absolute disaster. And basically what Shotzzy says is you are liable as any Call of Duty player to get slammed from time to time. Like, it is going to happen. And Shotzzy obviously says that his perspective and Pred's perspective, they're not going to get in a mental spiral when things start to go wrong, and it's going to, like, corrupt the rest of their season, which is quite an important thing, because I think we've seen that in the past. Like, you guys remember in Vanguard, when the whole, and obviously there was other things happening that year with the Illy injury and all this, but you guys remember Splashy, right? Like, when Dashy, fell off the map or whatever it was on Berlin that time, and there was a theory that, like, that checked OpTic for not just that entire event, but for, like, their entire season. I don't know if I fully believe that idea, but I definitely think it's the case for some teams where something goes wrong and it's just a full-on mental, like the same argument was made in Cold War when accuracy 1v3, their lineup for accuracy, that, like, mentally it chalked their season. And, like, you could debate whether that's really true or not, but I think that there might have been a part to play in that, and very easily this result at Major 4 for OpTic could have just chalked their year. And obviously it kind of goes both ways in the sense that clearly them not playing well spirals to some degree, because they played all the qualifiers, they eventually lost to Boston, they went to the Major and got top 12 anyway, right? So clearly there was a bit of mental spiraling going on there. But the reality is that, as Shotzzy says, Pred bounced back from that. He bounced back from his worst ever performance and was able to deliver the goods at the World Championship and bring the energy back again to the main stage. And he reckons that not many other players will be able to do that, because every team at some point goes through a bit of a slump. With OpTic, it was a major slump at Major 4. We'll see the numbers here in a second. With other teams, it's more of like a stint of losing a couple of series in a couple of weeks. Like, if FaZe lose 2 out of 5 series, that's a bit of a slump for them, to be honest, right? So, with OpTic, obviously, it was a disastrous stage of Call of Duty, but I do agree that there are probably few teams and few players that would have, like, mentally bounced back from a 12th place to then winning the next event, which was actually the World Championship, right? And maybe accuracy, as we think he was coaching the team, had a part to play in making that happen. But I think it's interesting just to hear that dynamic, because it's a dynamic that, do FaZe have that, right? Like, if they're mentally compromised, can they bounce back? Well, maybe they can, because they seemed to do it at the World Cup, didn't they? This was Pred's stage 1 card, this was Pred's stage 2 card, not as strong, right? And this is when a lot of the criticism was coming through on his play. Yes, they had a pretty good stage, but it wasn't great by Pred's standards at the time. This was then his Major 3 card, where they went on to win the tournament. But, the Los Angeles Thieves have that dog within, where if they're in a bit of a rough patch, are they going to mentally spiral, or are they going to come back? I think Kenny has a part to play potentially in that as well for the OpTic boys. This then was his Major 4 card, right? So he went from this card, a 91 overall, crushing it on the SMG alongside Shotzzy, who was great at the time, to this 67 overall card. Pred just had an absolute nightmare, certainly in Search and Destroy. And then the next event, he bounced back to what? A 94 overall, winning the World Championship with purple kills per 10.5 points during the event. So, it was very impressive. I think there are a few players in the league, as Shotzzy says, that were capable of something like this, and it could well be an advantage that OpTic are able to carry going into next season. But very much interested to your thoughts, as always, and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.